It's not that you haven't found your purpose yet, but just that you've buried it under years of blind conformity. Today we are going to be discussing 20 harmful lessons that we've been taught as kids that we need to let go of. Let's start with the emotional side of things, because whether we like it or not, it matters. Boys don't cry. Suck it up. Be tough. We've had it all. The issue with these statements is that they do not make you strong. Instead, they cause you to emotionally shut down. As kids, we are expected to ace every test, to do well in the game, to never mess up. But that pressure, it builds anxiety, self-doubt, and fear of failure. I still remember how I hated losing. It even got to a point where if I were to lose in a game, I would end up isolating myself. Another one, just smile. Be grateful. And what this did is that it planted a seed in you that feeling sad is a bad thing. You cannot feel frustration. But in all honesty, strength comes from feeling what needs to be felt, but deciding to not let it define who you are. Sadly, mental health still is not a priority in most schools or homes. Topics like anxiety, depression, ADHD, and etc. are not discussed. And at the end of the day, we end up paying the price as adults. Because guess what? Life doesn't give a damn. It throws whatever it is that it throws your way and it expects you to deal with that. Now, let's talk about how your sense of identity has been shaped or broken. Social media shows filtered perfections. Boys and girls end up feeling like they're not enough. And what that does is that it messes up with their confidence at an early age. Talks about puberty, sex, and body changes are still considered sacred, as if something catastrophic would happen if these were discussed. And guess what happens? You and I learn about these topics from random strangers in the internet. And as you all know, that doesn't end up well. You're the smart one, you're the lazy one. Labels stick, and they can build motivation or build up arrogance. Either way, it's a loss. As kids, we are told to fit in, but growth comes from standing on your own 2 feet, not following the herd. Sit down, be quiet, follow the rules. All these are phrases that are thrown around. Sure, discipline matters, but not at the cost of curiosity and critical thinking. Don't ask that. That's a dumb question. Sounds familiar? Your curiosity is destroyed by shutting down your natural desire to explore, to learn. Unfortunately, that is something that makes you incredible as a human being. Memorize this, regurgitate that. We are never taught how to really understand and apply what we are learning. Whenever you try to speak up, you were shut down, and that conditioned you to stay quiet. But that's not how thinkers and leaders are created. The constant buzz is always test scores, grades, trophies, all these short-term wins. But where are the lessons on long-term planning, goal setting, and most importantly, patience? The legendary phrase is, "because I said so." But that is not teaching, that is control. Discipline should come with understanding, else not, it just builds resentment. Yes, safety matters, but teaching kids to fear everyone outside their bubbles stunts their confidence and social skills. You were never taught to disagree. No wonder why you always feel drained after agreeing to do whatever it is that they ask you to do. Instead, you were taught to avoid argument. And that is why most adults don't know how to handle conflict without blowing up. Your life as a kid was all about sports, music, tutoring, every hour packed. But when did you rest? When were you given the chance to just be a kid? Well, the outcome of that was diminished or destroyed imagination. It was labeled as preparing them for the future. We grew up glued to our phones, tablets, screens 24/7, and that destroyed our creativity, empathy, and social skills. But balance is key, not avoidance, nor addiction. We were taught that stuff equals happiness, but happiness, true joy, is not found in the newest iPhone or those brand new pair of sneakers. It's in connection, purpose, and grit. We were not taught basic life skills, personal finance, cooking, how to deal with puberty and or relationships, and etc. It's like we were just prepared for tests and not life. Look, none of this is about blaming parents, teachers, or society. It's all about awareness. For parents, if you want to raise strong, resilient, confident kids who have the capacity to face this world without breaking down, you have to start unlearning these toxic lessons that you feed your kids and start replacing them with better ones. For example, encouraging real emotion, teaching long-term thinking, and showing that individuality is not dangerous. In fact, it's powerful. And fellow brothers, it's not too late for us to rewrite the narrative. However, it won't be simple because your identity is now tied to what we've just discussed. If you are a father, a coach, mentor, or just a man who gives a damn, this is your call to step up because the next generation is watching and they deserve better. And by the way, if you want to live a more adventurous life, do not forget to show some love by hitting that like and subscribe button. Until then, stay vibrant.